is a news show.
Sup, nation? Hope you're having an awesome Monday. My name, of course, is Philip DeFranco, and this is where I talk about news type stuff and things that matter to me today, and oh my god, I'm so glad to be home. And a quickie note before we get started, today we are launching a brand new channel for human peoples. Just posted an episode today. I think if you're a fan of my show and or SourceFed, you will very, very much love it. A lot of love was put into it, and if you want us to keep doing different awesome, cool things, go check it out, subscribe, share with your friends, things and stuff and words. Also remember, if you are taking part in the pop culture mashup, to submit your design in the link down below. But with that awesomeness out of the way, let's jump into the first story of the day. And nation, that first thing I want to talk about today are evil advertisements. It seems like stories about ads are constantly in the news, and it makes sense. You know, the world is becoming more connected, more social. How do we integrate it there? But while that may make sense on paper, many people are not too happy. One of the things many people are not happy about is on Friday, Google announced they are changing their terms of service. And they're changing it in a way that allows them to use your face and name in an ad. This will allow the company to show your user review for restaurants, or the fact that you follow a brand page on Google Plus and their display ads on the web. And the idea is actually very old in advertising. A cold ad is only so effective, while a recommendation much more. That said, many people on the interwebs are not fans of you using their identity when they didn't say, yes, I want you to use my identity. But Google, of course, explained that they are not evil. If you are under the age of 18, your information will not be used. And if you're not a fan of your identity being used, you can opt out using the link I'm going to include in the description down below. You click it, you uncheck the checkbox, you hit save, and ta-da! When your mom's using the Google box searching for good-ass barbecue, she does not find out you are a fan of goodbarelylegalass.com, saving you from some of those weird, awkward conversations this upcoming Thanksgiving. And I guess the main point of that story is the whole internet is evil, but your good friend Phil will protect you. Always trust Philip DeFranco. And nation, I almost forgot, Happy Columbus Day, otherwise known to the Canadians as Why Do We Have Off Day / Happy Christopher Columbus discovering a land already inhabited by millions of people who he then systematically enslaved and slaughtered. And somehow this motherfucker has a federal holiday day. Because the story's not like what they taught us in elementary school of a noble, awesome Christopher Columbus who was one of the few people to understand the world was round and everyone else just had to catch up. Motherfucker brought death, destruction, and disease to everything he touched, and really this is just a story of do whatever you want if you're the ones writing the history books. Because in the game of life, and it sucks, the moral weight of a man doesn't matter, it's really just the perception. Ain't that a bitch? And actually, on that note of perception being reality, let's jump into Today in Awesome. Because I saw a video today that I had to share, and that was a video of Banksy in New York. Banksy, if you don't know, is a famous street artist that no one really knows who he is, / could be a group of street artists going under the guise of one man. Banksy originals sell for high dollar amounts, so the video that was posted today was such a big deal because an entire stall of Banksy originals that The Guardian estimates was worth $1 million was sold on the streets of New York, just titled spray art, for $60 a pop. A few people here and there buy some, a lady barters down to 50% on two, and at the end of the day, the street artist makes $420 on what The Guardian estimates was $225,000 worth of art. But that's what I love, because unlike many of the comments that are saying, oh, that's so giving and that's so fun, maybe that's a small part of this video, but that's not what it's about. It's really about framing and perception. That at a high dollar event of hoity-toities, I invest in art because that's a smart investment, blah, blah, blah type people, that art is valued at hundreds of thousands of dollars, but you change the framing, you change the perception, and you go home with $420 on the streets of New York. And it's really a conversation about how material things do not have value. It's just a human construct where people go, I'm appointing that a certain dollar amount, and everyone will go, yeah, that makes sense. It's why really good salesmen are selling a blivet, a widget, if you will. Because it doesn't matter what the product is, it doesn't matter what the cost is, it only matters what someone believes the price of that thing is. It's why if you go to a car dealership, there are people that are so happy, but they're actually getting ripped off, while people that don't get ripped off, but think they are and actually got a better price are miserable. It's all about perception, and that is beautiful, stupid, and scary. Then there was an awesome video uploaded from New York Comic Con where a fan asked the guy that played Trevor from Grand Theft Auto 5 to tell him to go fuck himself, and then he did. Go fuck yourself! Then, because it does kind of make me forget about World Suck in general, we have our lovely lady of the day, Miss Jessica Ashley. She's a traveler / writer / up-and-coming model, and I am a fan. And because of that, I wanted to share and created a Sexy Time gallery in the links down below. Also, a quick note to any potential wicked, angry Boston fans. Yesterday, Tom Brady somehow beat the New Orleans Saints using what can really only be described as middle schoolers for wide receivers, and Big Papi became the Tiger Slayer. If you don't understand that, don't worry, we're moving on. And the final thing I want to talk about today is a story about Michael Melamed. Reason reason being is yesterday was the Boston Marathon, and really to push home the idea of perseverance, which really the whole event kind of felt like. The story really wasn't about the first person to cross the line in 2 hours and 3 minutes. The story was about the last man to cross the line. 38-year-old Venezuelan Mikel, who has muscular dystrophy, and it took him nearly 17 hours to finish the 26.2-mile race at 1:30 in the morning. And from those inspiring stories, let's jump into India, where no, the story is not about rape today. Over the weekend, a cyclone hit India. One of the last times a cyclone hit this specific area of India was in 1999, resulting in the deaths of over 10,000 people. Today, we have a much different story, because despite the damage, and there is damage, right now it's estimated that only 17 to 25 people have been killed. This has been largely credited to improved communications and preparation, giving people a heads up to get the hell out of the way. That being said, there were still 1 million people forced from their homes, but it could have been a lot worse. In fact, there was a much more deadly event in India over the weekend. Reportedly, 109 people died in a stampede near an Indian temple. There were thousands of worshippers near a Hindu temple. Many of these masses were crossing a bridge on their way. At some point, someone started rumors that the bridge they were on was beginning to collapse, so many in the crowd started rushing, pushing their way forward, and many others followed suit. What resulted is the now 109 people that were crushed by this stampede, with many seemingly flattened by the rush of people, with others jumping into the river to try and avoid it. The health minister told BBC officials they're looking into what could have caused this. What's even worse is that there are reports that the police might have been the ones that sparked these rumors. And nation, that terrible final story actually seems to be the best way to end this Monday PDS, because it seems the theme today is perception. Whether Google's trying to change the perception of an ad into a recommendation, or our history books telling us people are heroes when they were actually evil, evil sons of bitches, how the framing literally and metaphorically can change the value of something by hundreds of thousands of dollars, how the perceived weakness of muscular dystrophy can turn into something so amazing, and how the fear of something that is an actual threat can save lives while the fear of what is not can take them. And that's what we have today, and that's really what we have every day. Stories that could have gone the other way if they were perceived differently. And if you ever get anything out of my stupid interweb show, maybe today is the day. And it's that thought that takes us out of today's show and into today's question of the day. Does it bother you if your name and image are used in an ad, even if it's something that, you know, you've liked their Facebook page or you've left a public review? I'd love to know what you think and why in the comments down below. Remember to possibly be pelted with a $100 Amazon gift card. Use the hashtag PDS and pimp out this video on Twitter or Facebook. And thanks again to the sponsor of today's show, Netflix.com/PhillyD. You use that URL, you get a free month in streaming movies, and it helps out the show. But of course, as always, my name's Philip DeFranco. You've just been filled in. I love your faces, and I'll see you tomorrow.